Did you know that in just 6 months, you can completely transform your financial life without earning a single extra dollar? This isn't magic. It's a series of small, yet powerful steps that most people overlook. In this video, I'll reveal 10 simple strategies that even the wealthiest individuals apply every day to maintain financial control. I'm sure you've experienced the feeling of money slipping through your fingers without understanding why. Well, it's time to uncover the secret behind holding onto your money and building financial stability without making drastic sacrifices. Stay tuned and discover the steps that could completely change the way you manage your finances. Don't let this opportunity slip away, because the change you need is just one decision away. The interesting thing is, these strategies aren't complicated at all. They simply contradict most of what we've been taught about money. Even Warren Buffett, the almost legendary figure in the world of investing, once said that many of his billionaire friends quietly apply the exact same strategies. No noise, no flash, and the results are astonishing. Each hack I'm about to share is an essential piece of the puzzle. But the final piece, step number 10, is the real game changer. It's the dividing line between those who achieve financial freedom and those who remain trapped in cycles of debt, pointless spending, and dreams that never take off. So let's start with hack number 10, the forbidden secret to a wealthy life. Have you ever wondered why so many people chase money their entire lives, yet never truly feel rich? They have bigger houses, nicer cars, newer tech, but something still feels empty, hollow. The answer is simple. They're chasing someone else's dream, not their own. True wealth is not about the number in your bank account. It begins with you clearly defining what truly matters to you. That's the foundation for every financial decision that follows. Most of us spend money instinctively, or worse, impulsively. We buy things not because we need them, but because someone flaunted them on Instagram, or because we think everyone else is doing it. But have you ever stopped to ask yourself, does this item truly make my life better? Does it bring me closer to my real goals? If the answer is no, then it's time for a change. Warren Buffett is the perfect example. As one of the wealthiest people on the planet, he still lives in the modest house in Omaha that he bought back in the 1950s. He could easily live in a lavish mansion, but he doesn't need to, because he understands true wealth is not about appearances. It's about control over the values you pursue. And it's not just Buffett. Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, despite being a tech billionaire, often wears a simple gray t-shirt. He said that it helps him avoid wasting energy on trivial decisions. For him, focus is his greatest asset. What about you? It's time for you to redefine wealth on your own terms, not according to society's definition, not through the polished images you see on social media, but the version that suits you: simple, authentic, and worth living. Great. Now it's time to turn mindset into action. If the previous section opened the door to change by helping you define what truly matters in your financial life, this section is the first step you need to take. And you know what? It all starts with just 10 minutes today. I used to think that big changes required huge steps. But no, all you need to do is sit down, be still, and write down your ideal vision for your life. Imagine a morning no longer haunted by worries over money. Every dollar you earn is contributing to something meaningful. Not reckless spending, but living with purpose. A simple example. If your goal is to save $3,000 in the next 6 months, you can absolutely do it by cutting back on unnecessary expenses. Maybe it's the movie subscription you've forgotten about, or the habit of dining out every weekend when you no longer enjoy it. Every decision needs to be considered. Does this move me closer to the life I want? Or is it taking me further away from it? Here's a small but incredibly effective tip I've applied. Write down your wealthy life vision, not a vision of a fat bank account, but one where you have solid financial security to take care of your loved ones and invest in your future. Write it down, stick it on your mirror, set it as your phone wallpaper anywhere you frequently see it. A simple sentence like, "My wealthy life is one where I have enough financial security to protect those I love and invest in the future." This can completely change how you think each time you're about to make an impulsive purchase. When your money starts reflecting your true values, It's no longer a burden. It becomes a powerful lever that propels you forward. And do you know what the next step is? Exposing the places where your money is silently leaking away each day. Hack number 9. Revealing the expenses that are quietly making you poorer. Did you know that a large portion of the money you're working so hard to earn each month is actually quietly slipping away from you without you even noticing? Hidden bank fees, forgotten auto subscriptions, impulse purchases, all of these can add up to hundreds, even thousands of dollars without anyone giving you a warning. And that's why companies love these small expenses. They're stealthy, easy, and hard for you to spot unless you actively look for them. But don't worry, this can be fixed starting today. Take the time to review all of your spending over the past 3 months. Open your bank statements, go through your credit card transactions, and categorize your expenses. What's a necessity? What's a want? And what's just waste? For example, an unused movie subscription could cost you $20 a month. That's $240 a year. Doesn't sound like much? But if you do this with several other expenses, the number quickly adds up. This is exactly how people like Mark Cuban, a blunt, disciplined billionaire, have emphasized. A dollar you save today could turn into $10 in the future if you use it the right way. Don't underestimate the small things, because it's from the small things that we can create big changes. I once thought that making a lot of money was enough. But one day, my car broke down unexpectedly, and the repair cost was in the thousands. Standing in the garage, looking at the bill, my heart sank. Without an emergency fund, I had no choice but to swipe my credit card. And that's when I found myself caught in the cycle of debt, interest piling up. It was then that I understood something. Financial freedom isn't just about how much you earn, it's about your ability to prepare for the unpredictable. That was the moment I started building my own financial fortress, a shield to protect me from life's unexpected blows. First, I reviewed all my basic expenses: rent, food, utilities, insurance. Then, I set a goal to save enough to cover at least 1 month of living expenses. It seemed challenging at first, but I started small, just $50 a week. After a year, I had more than $2,600, enough to prevent panic when my car broke down or when a doctor called. What I learned is this: consistency beats perfection. Warren Buffett once said, "You don't have to do extraordinary things to get extraordinary results. Just be consistent." And he wasn't joking. Once I started saving, I opened a separate savings account, one I didn't touch. I chose online banks like Ally or Marcus by Goldman Sachs because they usually offer better interest rates than traditional banks. I even named the account Family Fortress. It might sound quirky, but every time I saw it, I was reminded why I started. A prime example is Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Before becoming a billionaire, she worked as a door-to-door fax machine salesperson. But she always had a small emergency fund, enough to give her the confidence to quit her job and pursue her creative vision. Without that emergency fund, Spanx might never have existed. This isn't just for the already rich, as many might think. It's the foundation for building wealth. Every dollar saved is a brick in the wall of peace of mind. The average American spends over $1,000 a year on unexpected expenses. Without preparation, you'll remain stuck in a constant state of anxiety and fear. And if you're wondering, is it too late to start? The answer is, it's never too late to begin securing your future. We can't control every setback in life, but we can control how we respond to them. Start today. Lay the foundation for your fortress. Because when you know you're prepared, you'll live with true freedom, not just in finances, but in your mind. I still vividly remember the anxiety I felt every time I opened my wallet. Not because I lacked spending money, but because I had no idea if some hidden fee was quietly draining my budget. Those apps I downloaded once, the services I used for a few days, then forgot about. All of them were like tiny drops of water, slowly sinking my ship. So I began with something small, but surprisingly effective. Using tools like Truebill or Mint to track all my recurring expenses. It felt like hiring a personal financial detective. They never sleep, always alerting me the moment an unusual charge was made. But just detecting wasn't enough. I had to build a defensive wall for the future, where financial decisions were made with logic, not by fleeting emotions. Before signing up for any service, I always ask myself, is this really necessary? Does it improve my life? Or is it just a passing desire? I set a rule: wait at least 24 hours before making any non-planned purchase. It sounds simple, but that pause saved me from countless impulse buys. I once read a story about Warren Buffett, who is famous not just for his vast wealth, but for his unwavering adherence to his spending principles. Despite being able to buy anything, he still lives in his old house in Omaha and maintains a minimalist lifestyle. For Buffett, every dollar spent is part of a future profit lost. And that lesson changed me. Saving from seemingly insignificant expenses might surprise you with its impact. Every dollar you keep is a step closer to financial independence. That's why I call this the silent revolution. Are you feeling inspired? If so, leave a comment below to let me know you'd like to hear more. What I shared today is just the beginning. Next, we'll move to the core. What protects you from life's unexpected changes? A solid financial shield, a fortress of security that everyone should have. I clearly remember the first time I looked at my financial statement. Every expense, every debt, every cash flow looked like a tangled maze. At that moment, I realized if I continued letting everything run on autopilot, I would never escape the exhausting financial cycle. What I needed wasn't a miracle, but a system, a self-operating mechanism working for me even while I slept. Financial automation. That's how the wealthy truly control their money. It's not that they are smarter, more disciplined, or more talented than the rest of us. They just know one thing: let the system do the work. Like Warren Buffett once said, make money work for you even when you're not doing anything. And I started with the simplest step, putting all my income and expenses into one central account. Just one point of control. It might sound simple, but it completely transformed how I viewed money. Next, I set up automatic transfers. Every time I received my paycheck, a portion would immediately be transferred into my savings fund, emergency fund, and investments. For example, I set up $100 to automatically go into my 401k every week. The money disappears before I can spend it, and that's the secret. I also set up automatic payments for all my fixed bills, rent, internet, utilities. No more late fees, no more penalties. And for my credit card, I set it to pay off the entire balance on the due date. I get the credit points and avoid the trap of high interest. If you have an irregular income, like I did when I worked freelance, don't use fixed amounts. Instead, set a percentage. Say 10% of your income each month goes to savings or investments. The system will adjust itself, and you won't have to worry. You can use tools like in-app, You Need a Budget, or Mint as a virtual financial assistant, helping you monitor and fine-tune your cash flow every day. Financial automation isn't a trick, it's a long-term strategy. It helps me save time, reduce stress, and most importantly, create consistency, which anyone needs if they want to build real wealth. Imagine, you no longer have to think each month about how much to save, where to invest, when to pay off debt. It's all scheduled, running like a well-oiled machine. And from here, you can start thinking about something bigger, investing, not as complicated or intimidating as you once thought. In the next section, I'll share a simple investment strategy that the wealthy rarely tell you about. But once you understand it, you'll see you should have started long ago. I still remember the lightness I felt when I first saw my investment account start to generate returns. Although it was just a small amount, it gave me a solid belief. I was slowly buying back my own freedom. Because investing, at its core, isn't just about money. It's a commitment. It's a declaration to the future that I won't always live in worry. I'm building something sustainable. Many people think investing is distant, complex, and only for experts who understand the market. But the truth is much simpler. You don't need to be Warren Buffett to start. The secret lies in the things that are familiar but often underestimated. Index funds like the S&P 500. These funds represent the entire market with low fees, diversified risk, and stable returns over time. A simple example: if you invest a steady $50 each month into an index fund over several years, thanks to the power of compound interest, that amount will grow exponentially. You don't need to time the market. Just keep going consistently. And to make it easier, I automated the entire process. Every month, a small amount is transferred directly from my main account to my investment account, just like how I save money. This helps me avoid the temptation to splurge while maintaining discipline effortlessly. Platforms like Vanguard, Fidelity, and Schwab are very user-friendly, even for beginners. They have easy-to-navigate interfaces, reliable support tools, and specific resources. Another thing that makes investing even more effective is choosing accounts with tax benefits, like a 401k or Roth IRA. If you're working in the US and your company offers a match for 401k contributions, take advantage of it. It's almost like free money that you won't want to miss. These accounts not only help you save on taxes, but also provide a solid foundation for long-term wealth building. I still remember Tony Robbins' words, "It's not what we do once in a while that shapes our lives. It's what we do consistently." Investing doesn't require you to do something huge right away. What matters is starting, even if it's small, and maintaining it consistently. Every dollar you put in today is like a soldier silently working toward your dream of freedom tomorrow. And if you think investing is already a big step, keep your eyes on this journey. Because in the next part, I'll tell you how I gradually increased my income without working overtime, without burning out, just using strategies that few know about but are incredibly effective. Did you know that with just seemingly ordinary skills, you can create additional sources of income? No need for an impressive degree, nor do you have to be a tech genius. If you know how to edit videos, have writing skills, or are simply good at organizing and structuring tasks, you already have valuable capital. The problem is, many people underestimate these abilities. They think only those with full-time jobs or their own businesses can make extra money. But the truth is, with a bit of creativity and timely action, you can start today. For example, you can sign up on platforms like Upwork or Fiverr, where millions of clients are looking for exactly the services you can offer. I once knew a friend. She only needed a computer and basic editing skills, and after 6 months of freelancing on Fiverr, her monthly income surpassed her office salary. Or if you're more hands-on, think about selling handmade crafts or items you no longer use on eBay or Etsy. It may seem trivial, but some people started their businesses just by selling a few old toys from their garage and then grew them into an online store that brought in thousands of dollars every month. You could also take advantage of what you already own. Got an empty room in your house? Rent it out on Airbnb. Is your car often sitting idle in the garage? Let Turo help you turn it into passive income. Small actions like these, which may seem insignificant, can add up to several $100s every month, enough to pay off debt, invest, or save for the future. Remember, increasing your income isn't just about making more money. It's about expanding your financial doors. Every dollar you earn is a building block for the financial freedom you've always desired. And you know, the journey to wealth doesn't just stop at how much you make, but also at how much you keep. In the next part, I'll share a practical strategy, cutting down on major expenses you never expected, helping you save smartly without compromising your quality of life. In the previous section, I shared how to optimize your income through small but effective actions like leveraging personal skills, renting out existing property, or selling unused items. But you know what? Increasing your income is just half of the financial puzzle. The other part is about keeping what you've earned. And that's where the strategy of cutting down big expenses comes into play. The problem is, most people tend to focus on small expenses like their morning coffee or weekend dinners out. Sure, those add up, but the real impact on long-term finances comes from adjusting major costs like housing, transportation, and insurance. I started by reviewing my fixed contracts, areas we often overlook but silently drain our money. Think about your internet bills, cable TV, home, and car insurance. You can call to negotiate better rates or switch to a provider with lower fees. Most companies are willing to lower prices if you hint at canceling their services. For example, I once knew a woman named Karen from Texas. She was a retired teacher, and she saved over $1,200 a year just by calling her service provider and switching to a more suitable plan. She didn't lose anything, but gained more money to invest in her retirement fund. Then, there are services you no longer use. A premium gym membership you haven't set foot in all month? Cancel it. A streaming service you forgot you subscribed to? Cut it off. Smart saving isn't about living frugally. It's about living strategically. Every dollar saved can be used to pay off debt, invest, or build an emergency fund. But it doesn't stop there. While I began cleaning up my major expenses, I discovered another silent enemy: small fees and hidden costs. Automatic deductions, bank fees, or charges you never notice, all of these can add up to hundreds of dollars a year, and you don't even realize it. And that will be the topic of the next part, where I'll share how to eliminate the hidden fees that are bleeding your wallet every day. Get ready, because with just a few small changes, you'll see a significant improvement in your finances. I used to think that those small fees didn't matter, just a few dollars here and there, a couple of times a month. But the truth is, they quietly function like a massive money-draining machine, little by little, draining my wallet without me even realizing it. When I started cutting out those seemingly insignificant costs, I was surprised to find that I saved over $300 a year. Instead of that money vanishing into meaningless fees, I used it to invest, pay down debt, and slowly I began to rebuild the dream I put on hold for so long. And once I stopped the financial leaks, I realized saving money was just one part of the equation. The other part was learning how to control it consistently. That's when I started applying a simple yet incredibly effective habit. A habit that changed my entire relationship with money. The ultra-wealthy don't just know how to make money. They have a financial ritual they follow as if it were a religion. Whether it's Warren Buffett or Oprah Winfrey, one thing they all have in common is consistency. They don't let their money drift away and then panic at the end of the month to check their account. They control their finances proactively, regularly, and with discipline. And surprisingly, that ritual is not complicated. I picked a fixed day each week. Sunday became my day where I dedicated 30 minutes to do one thing: review my personal finances. In that short window of time, I checked 3 things: how my spending had been the past week, whether I was getting closer to my financial goals, and if anything needed adjusting. For instance, there was a week when I overspent due to a birthday party. I didn't beat myself up over it, but I used that time to adjust my other expenses. Everything was clearly recorded, using apps like Mint or simply a Google Sheet spreadsheet. The key was not letting things become vague. And the best part? I used the last few minutes to plan for the upcoming week. How much I would spend on food, how much I would save, and if I had $100 left, I would use it to pay down debt or invest long-term. Each week was like a new cycle. I took control of my money rather than letting it control me. This habit, though simple, was the bridge between what I had learned and the goals I wanted to achieve. It kept me on track, ensuring I didn't miss anything on my journey toward financial freedom. Each week was an opportunity to adjust, make progress, and celebrate small victories. The difference between dreamers and creators isn't in the amount of money they have, but in their consistency. So why not start today? Spend 30 minutes on yourself, on your future. Because if you can do this every week, financial success is just a matter of time. So, we've gone through the journey of discovering simple, yet incredibly powerful strategies to change your finances in just 6 months. Remember, change doesn't come from grand decisions, but from small, consistent actions every day. You can absolutely do this, just start and keep at it. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I truly appreciate your support. If this story resonates with you, don't hesitate to share your own story with us, because we believe every story holds value and we're excited to be with you on your financial and life journey. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and leave your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your reflections and experiences. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next videos, where we'll continue to explore more valuable life lessons. Let's turn those small decisions into big changes together. Wishing you a prosperous financial journey full of confidence,